In professional cycling, there are many historical feats that separate the great riders from the true legends of the sport. Tadej Pogačar is certainly an incredible rider, has already marked his name in the history books as one of the best riders of his generation, cementing his legacy by winning the Tour de France at only 21 years old, dominating plenty of races, even winning the 2021 Tour de France the year after, and many other notable achievements before even venturing into his 30s. But the question is, will he be able to do the impossible in 2024 of winning both the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia in the same year, and maybe even doing the Triple Crown by winning the World Championships as well? Given the facts, we've seen Tadej Pogačar has been in one Vuelta a España and he's been in 4 Tour de France's, but he's never done 2 Grand Tours in 1 year. The Triple Crown is seemingly the hardest achievement in cycling. This is winning the 3 premier events on the professional calendar in the form of the Giro d'Italia, Tour de France and the World Championships all in the same year. The last time it was achieved was by Stephen Roche in 1987, and it almost broke him as a rider as well, as he was never truly the same. And of course, the other rider who's also done it is none other than the GOAT himself, Eddy Merckx. So Tadej Pogačar, if he does manage to do it, he would be able to put himself in the same category once again as Eddy Merckx. Doing it in the modern era potentially is even more difficult considering the specialization of the sport. Even if we look at the other impossible feats, not winning the World Championship, but merely the Giro and the Tour in the same year, it's once again something that hasn't been achieved in a long time, since Marco Pantani in 1998, while Chris Froome came very close in 2018 by winning the Giro d'Italia and finishing 3rd in the Tour de France, whilst in the same year Tom Dumoulin was 2nd in both the Giro and the Tour, so indicating the challenge at hand. Alberto Contador has tried the speed in the past, and Nairo Quintana, but both failed to win both of them. But if any rider of his generation were to do it, it would be the rider with the flair and talent of Tadej Pogačar. Well, now coming to the route, this year in 2024, the Giro d'Italia is very time trial heavy and does look like it will suit Tadej Pogačar, who is the better of the GC riders in the time trial, considering that both Remco Evenepoel and Jonas Vingegaard have decided to skip the Giro d'Italia altogether. So Tadej Pogačar should definitely be the favourite in terms of whoever comes here to try and challenge him. And also the nature of the Giro has also lent itself to quite a few mountain stages in the beginning of the race, and even featuring the Pranto di Tibo as well, a stage he's very familiar with, as in 2021 in the Tirreno Adriatico, he absolutely dominated that climb and broke the record of the ascent. And there's also a hint of gravel, which will be no bother for him. He would potentially have wanted more gravel in the race, as he is a former Strade Bianche champion in 2022. But when you look at it, it really is a route that could comfortably suit Tadej Pogačar, and not having the great rivals there to challenge him. And in terms of his team support as well, it seems to be fairly robust, principally his teammate of Rafa Majka heading it up, and some other good domestiques. So it looks like it's a strong enough team to support him in a lesser Giro field, but nothing compared to what he would need at the Tour de France. Coming to the Tour de France, the route is a bit harder. There is a gravel stage as well, and a very hard section towards the finish where it does go up on some of the hardest climbs that the Tour has seen in a very long time, with the Col de Bonnet, very interesting feature, and that final time trial as well. A rolling one. We have seen Tadej Pogačar doing well on these final time trials. Just think back to La Planche de Belfi, with so much of it being centered around the Nice area towards the finish. This is a part of the world where he has done well in 2023, obviously winning Paris-Nice in some emphatic fashion ahead of Jonas Vingegaard and David Gaudu. So this one will be a hard one to say the least. Of course, the rivals are going to be more elevated than that at the Giro d'Italia. Does he have enough in him to beat his career rival of Jonas Vingegaard? Primož Roglič as well is considered one of his rivals, and Remco Evenepoel is somewhat of an unknown entity in terms of the Tour de France, as he will be debuting it. But in terms of against Jonas Vingegaard, obviously the last 2 years have gone towards the Dane. What will change? Well, last year in 2023, Tadej Pogačar came in with not the ideal preparation after crashing in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, breaking his wrist, and then not doing any competitive races other than the national championships before coming into the race. So that is a different factor. With Primož Primoz Roglic, he is a year older, but he is in a different team, arguably a weaker team, and arguably Roglic leaving also made Visma Lease Bike a weaker team. And with Wout van Aert as well going to the Giro d'Italia, this is another key factor. They won't have that incredible Swiss Army knife for Visma Lease Bike. In terms of his team for the Tour de France, this is an absolutely mouth-watering team. You've got Nils Pollitt, the new boy, who will be looking to control the pace. You've got an absolutely ecstatic climbing support with Joao Almeida, Juan Ayuso, Adam Yates, alongside Tadej Pogačar in the mountains, and these three riders have all finished on Grand Tour podiums in the last 2 years. Is this team too strong? We have seen other teams such as Movistar do a three-pronged attack, but with UAE Team Emirates, there's a much more clear hierarchy that is all on board the Tadej Pogačar train, so potentially there will be no problems. The situation where he could potentially do something here would be to isolate Jonas Vingegaard and then having one of their leaders close enough to kind of go up the road, and they do similar what Jumbo-Visma did to Tadej Pogačar in 2022 and really just force him to do all the work. That is one way to do it, but as we saw in 2023, Jonas Vingegaard looked like he had another level that he wasn't really utilizing. But in terms of the Tour de France, that is the big banana skin. Then we come to the World Championships in Zurich, and the course is a very punchy one with several climbs, not big enough climbs to make it a mountain climber affair. This could be one just between the more robust punchers and then the lower end climbers. But as we know, Amstel Gold is something that he's won. He's also won Flèche Wallonne and Liège-Bastogne-Liège in his career already. So he really does lend himself to this punchy nature of a course, and he's demonstrated at Lille Lombardia. He is really one of the best riders when it comes to these hilly, mountainous, one-day races. So I wouldn't put it past him at this World Championship, and there's a very strong team around him as well. The only banana skin in this team would be Primoz Roglic. Maybe he's seeing this as a potential target as well, so it could be a foe within the team. So in terms of the verdict, will Tadej Pogačar be able to win the Giro Tour or even the Triple Crown? Given the roots and the stage of his career as well, he is in the prime of his career, and it is a good time for him to give this a bash. And I think this cycling world, whatever happens, will definitely take their hat off for Tadej Pogačar to risk it all. But in terms of the Giro, I think most people think that he's the odds-on favorite for that. In terms of the Tour de France, that is the uncertainty, you have to say. Also, how will doing his first two Grand Tours in the same year affect him? We saw last year that he had a huge calendar spanning all the way from early February all the way to Il Lombardia. So maybe if he, this year, by skipping those cobblestone classics, that will aid him here. But still, doing your first two Grand Tours competitively as well is certainly going to be a very hard feat, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come out the victor on that front. In terms of the World Championships, I think here again, much like the Giro, he's the odds-on favorite, but anything can happen at a World Championships. But I really do expect him to be at least on the podium. But that's basically it for this video. Make sure to let me know down below if you think he can do the Triple Crown, and if not, where do you think he's going to finish in each of the 3 races. Hit the like button, as that really helps, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And of course, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you around.